Hey everyone, welcome back. It is Fire Day, Brandy. Woohoo! And guess what? We have an amazing person with us this afternoon. We've got Brian Schulman all the way from San Diego. I'm Vanessa Lane, the CCO of the Phoenix Factor and Girls on Fire, and you are?
Brandy Holloway, the CEO of the Phoenix Factor and Girls on Fire.
So if anybody is not following Brian right now on LinkedIn, let me tell you, you are missing out. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to give a brief intro, brief bio, and then I'm going to let Brian talk and tell you a little bit more about what he does. So Brian Schulman has been on the internet since it was a green screen and chat rooms. Boom. He has more than 19 years of proven digital marketing and e-commerce experience, strategizing with IR 500 and Fortune 500 brands. He's a Forbes, get this, a Forbes featured entrepreneur and LinkedIn top voice. Oh my goodness. He's the founder and CEO of Voice Your Vibe, the co-founder of We for She Summit, and a lot of other things. But
Wow.
Let me tell you, and did you know, he was one of the pioneers of top LinkedIn video creators in the world.
I did not know that.
Boom. So Brian, welcome to Fire Day.
All right, thank you. I feel like I'm on fire right now.
Good.
So Brian, for everyone that isn't connected, and shame on you if you aren't connected, please tell all of our wonderful listeners who you are, what you do, and just all the greatness that is coming out. Let me tell you, we love all the Wednesdays, Saturdays, all the videos, man. It's just amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. I so appreciate that, and I'm so honored and humbled to be here with you both and joining you on Fire Day. So I don't even know where to start. So I mean, as founder and CEO of Voice Your Vibe, and it's all about teaching you how to tell a story that you fall in love with. I've been on LinkedIn every day for the past 15 and a half years. Creating ever since you really could create, because that wasn't really an ability you had that long ago. But my story starts from day one, was May 13th, 1975. And I was a miracle baby that weighed 1.5 pounds that wasn't supposed to live. And I fought for every breath to make it into this world. I then was diagnosed with a neurological disorder called Tourette syndrome, which are uncontrollable tics and twitches. So I dealt with a lot of adversity and a lot of bullying growing up. Certainly had some hard times being the small kid and then being the weird kid, and tried to find my tribes along the way, so to speak. Broke out of my shell as I kind of got older into high school. And I think there's something that happened along my journey where, I had a lot of positivity around me, but I think we all know one negative can overshadow a ton of positives. And I had some really dark moments. And I think at some point along my way, I kind of flipped the switch and said, I don't ever want anyone to feel the way I did when I got picked on, when I got bullied, when I went through what I went through, those dark times. I want people to feel good and uplifted and encouraged and supported. And so I kind of, again, flipped the switch in my mind and started to be someone who brought people together, and I wanted them to feel good, and certainly broke out of my shell as I got into college, and then found LinkedIn along the way, and it really did change my life. I mean, I can't even begin to describe. We don't have enough time on the show to talk about how much it's affected me, but short version is that, I came to LinkedIn to achieve my why, which was to inspire one person a day. And if I was able to inspire one person a day, because I get this question a lot, you guys, which is, how are you so positive all the time? Like, how do you do that? And I think it's just because, like I said, coming where I have come from, miracle baby, neurological disorder, lots of negativity, but I wanted to give the opposite. And I realized that life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we react to it. And if I take as a gift, no matter what happens to any of us, right, we have a choice. We decide how we're going to consume whatever is happening around us, because we can't control that. We can control us. We can control everything else. And even though I have failed way more in life and business than I've succeeded, I've learned from every step along the way, and I've gotten up every time and dusted myself off and smiled and said, okay, I'm just gonna keep going and know that every time I get up, I'm succeeding no matter what. And if I can just help or aspire, I should say, to inspire one person to chase after their dreams and know and feel and believe that they can accomplish anything, or get up after they've fallen 50 or 50,000 times, knowing that that is succeeding every time they do, whether they actually achieve their goal or not, or put a smile on somebody's face when they don't have one, or make somebody feel good about themselves when they don't. Like any one of those things for just one person a day, I have accomplished my mission to make the world a better place as a human being.
Wow, I love
Wow.
that.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's just amazing. So, Brandy, I'm going to let you kick this off because I know you got people watching. And
Yeah, so really quickly, actually, Joy Ryan Smith says, hello, Brian. And we have
Hi,
a couple of other,
Joy.
Jonathan Grog is watching. So
Hi,
one of the things I
Jonathan.
love, are you connected with Jake Milton as well on LinkedIn?
Yes, so here's a great story for you. So Jake Melton and I were introduced last year through Jake Jordan, and said, "Hey, I think you guys should meet." And Jake was the second person on LinkedIn that I met that had Tourette's in the 15 years that I had been on the platform at that time. And we wound up getting on a Zoom call. And we had the most incredible conversation, the two of us, because we were sharing stories with each other. And Jake had even said that he had never talked about before. And we wound up actually meeting in person in Dallas when Lila Smith asked me to come to Dallas so that she could throw me a launch party for my company. That was actually the day that I was became a Forbes featured entrepreneur as well. But Jake and I got together. We hugged it out. We had some incredible conversations together and made some awesome videos. He is a brother for life of mine. He is one of the most incredible human beings that I know. Has the hugest heart in the world, and I love how he advocates every day for those that have Tourette's, and just like me, the voiceless and the differently abled, because the reality is we are all flawsome. We are not perfect. We all have our own flaws, but we are all awesome human beings. And again, I just have so much love for Jake. So Jake, if you're watching, man, I love you, brother. And I'm so happy and like honored and blessed to have you in my life.
I love that. And that's why I asked, of course, because, and that's what I love about LinkedIn is you just meet these incredible people and hear the stories and you're prompting them to tell their stories. And in this day and age, if you really want to create an impact or become an influencer, which a lot of people focus on, is you still got to tell that story. And as we say, you have to own your fire. That's what owning your fire is all about.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And it's one of the things that I always share with folks is that, and I coach a lot of executives, a lot of folks in the C-suite, everybody else in between. I just came back from a CPA super conference in Orlando, Florida, on one of the Disney properties. And and these are certified public accountants, okay? They're not used to video and doing something like that. And I said, you don't have to be me to get in front of the camera. You don't have to have almost died or grown up with a neurological disorder or whatever. I said, everyone has a voice and a story that matters, and everyone has a voice and a story that has the ability to positively affect another human being on this planet. And that's the most incredible gift we were given. My journey, when I started LinkedIn video back in the beta of 2017, I had never done anything like that before. And I was scared to death to get in front of the camera. I was so green, I didn't even know there were apps that existed. So it was really scary. It was really hard. And I had to get comfortable being uncomfortable one more time in my life, just like everything else I've done in my life, both growing up, turning into an adult, learning how to live and socialize and all that, and then growing up in the startup world for 20 years, building and growing companies. Like everything was uncomfortable. But the thing that I learned was when you're uncomfortable and you get comfortable being uncomfortable, that's when you grow, that's when you learn, that's when the magic happens. So video for me, I looked at it like that and said, okay, I know I'm supposed to be doing this. I don't know how to do it, but I know I've got to do it. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I just feel like I've got to do this thing. And it was really awkward. In my very first video, after waiting 5 months of being scared to death to finally take the leap, I did. And it was telling my life story. And guys, I can tell you in one hand, the number of times I ever talked about the stuff that I've shared with you so far. And then I did it for the first time on video in front of 500 million people on LinkedIn. And it was terrifying, but I got so much love, support, and encouragement. And Brandon, that goes back to saying, this is something that we as a community have fostered on LinkedIn with purpose. And it wasn't something that existed. When video launched on LinkedIn, it changed everything. It changed everything so much more than the 15 years or 14 years of that time prior, because the mold that we were writing in, the box broke, the shirt and tie and the blazers we were all wearing, those went away. Younger generation popped up, and I say younger because most of these guys were 20 years younger than I am. And yet they were talking about fears and failures and really deep personal stories. And it was really inspiring. And I was inspired to share my story, although I was scared to death. And I waited. I did. I got so much support. And guys, I got to tell you, it meant the absolute world to me. And I wanted to give it to everybody that I saw showing up. And I did. And it became a ripple effect. More and more creators started showing up. And yes, a lot of us were pioneers at that time. And we wanted people to feel good about themselves. Be hard. It's like any first. You know, a lot of times people will say, what's the big deal? It's just video. I'm sure when you guys first got on live, you were like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? You know, but same, right? Same. And you do it and you just start. And once you start again, you start again. And now almost 400 videos later, people say, my gosh, you should be on TV. How are you doing it? And I said, go watch a couple videos and you'll realize that I was just like you, didn't know what the heck I was doing. We all start from ground zero. The key is just start. We're all just starting in a different part of our journey.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to throw a couple highs out there. We've got a lot of people. Hey, Nick. Nick is actually waving at you right now, Brian. We've got hi to Janelle, hi to Sanjib, hi, Carly. Thank you. You're currently on. And Carly actually said, she says, growing up stinks. And I understand what she's saying is, you know, we grow up sometimes in not the best of lights. Sometimes there is adversity. Sometimes we get picked on. But like you said, with anything we do, whether it's a podcast or whether it's a video, the whole point is just to begin. That's the hardest step.
That's
is
right.
To put your foot in, put the toe in, because once the toe gets in, the foot goes in, the leg goes in. Pretty you know, you're floating, you're swimming, you're diving, but the hardest thing is to make that first choice that I'm going to start something. And then when you look back at it like you have after 400 plus videos, you're like, wow. I mean, look at the journey, and that's a wonderful montage in itself to see where you started and where you've come and the growth that has happened, but not just the growth, because I feel like, you know, video is a great source of content for lots of reasons, but I feel like not only you get to see and hear, but you get to experience someone's journey, their passions. You almost get to feel their heart beating because they're giving something away of themselves to you for you to listen to. What are your thoughts,
Yes.
Brian?
No, I think that's such a great point. And I'm always sharing with folks, look, video is the only thing missing from video is you can't smell and touch the person, but all the other emotions are there. Your senses are there. Your awareness is there. You're right. And it's incredible, right? Because you can feel the other person's heart. And you bring up a really good point. You know, I'm always sharing with brands, with companies, with individuals that, you know, showing up isn't, especially in a platform like LinkedIn, this is really hard for folks to understand, especially when, I want to give you some metrics real quick. So there are 640 million people on LinkedIn. Of that, 250 million are quote unquote active. And of that, you know, they're there, they're kind of lingering. And of that, less than 1% are actively creating any form of content, especially video. Those are enormous metrics if you think about them in terms of opportunity to show up. And even though it's a couple years old, that's still the way it is today. But I think most people are thinking, well, gosh, once they know it exists, it's like, wow, I got to show up and talk about business, and I got to show up in my shirt and tie or my blazer and my blouse. And no, you don't. The most important thing you can remember is that people do business with people they like, know, and trust. And people have to fall in love with you before they're going to listen to what you have to say. That means you show up with your heart. One of the very first things I do when I work with, from a coaching perspective, work with executives and others and business owners is to have them tell me their life story, literally from beginning to now, whatever they can think of, no holds barred. And the reason is because when we're in our own bubble, it's really easy to think we don't have a story worth telling. Who's going to care about our life story? And I think the thing is remembering that we, and I do have a degree in psychology, we as human beings, we want to relate to other people, we want to connect with other people, and we want to help other people. These are just natural things as human beings that we want to do. And I think when you give your heart and when you share parts of you, that helps people get to know you, get to like you, get to trust you, and get to fall in love with you. And it's where you should start. And it's not easy, guys. It's really hard. But like anything in life, when you do it for the first time, of course it's hard. But you do it again and again and again and again, it starts to get easier. Next thing you know, it's just habit. So, yes, video is one of those things, and another metric, 85% of content consumed online is through video. So what a crazy opportunity to show up, right? Again, especially in a place where most people in the scheme of 640 million people aren't showing up. So I don't know if that answers your question fully, but it all comes from your heart, whether you're an individual, whether you're a brand. You think about brands and they want to show up and they want to sell this product or sell this service or build their tribe. And I think they forget the fact that the most important part is the why. Why did they start? What made them in their heart want to go, I want to start this company. I want to change the world. And why did they do that? You know, there's always a struggle. And yes, you're so right. It's all about the journey. Share that journey. We want to root you on. We want to cry with you. We want to cheer with you and cheer for you. We want to be there to lift you up when you can't, you know, and just kind of go through the whole thing with you. So it's really an incredible thing, I got to tell you, because I'll share a quick story with you. My daughter is 18. She just graduated from high school a couple weeks ago. My son is 16. He's
Ah,
about to be a junior. But and it blows my mind what's happened, and the fact that next month will be a 20-year anniversary for my wife and I being married. But my daughter comes into my
oh
office
wow.
a year ago last January, and I happened to be doing some work, and she had come home from school, and she literally handed me a couple pages of paper and said, I wanted you to read something. And the top of it, it says, four-way speech contest essay. And it was something that she did for extra credit. She didn't have to do it. She's very driven. She loves school. She's been a straight A student her entire life. And just, she's like me. She has to work for every inch, but she earns every inch. The reason I'm telling this to you guys is because I didn't know what it was. And the title of it was Live to Inspire. And I don't know how much time we have, but I'm kind of, I've only shared this a couple of times, and I'm kind of thinking I might want to read this to you real quick, because it really blew my heart up when I read it. I never thought that, I guess as a parent, we're always proud. This really took things to a whole nother level for me, because I never thought that she looked at me that way. So I mean, I don't know. It's up to you guys. It's your show, but if you're open to it, I'd read it to you. It's not that
Yeah, I mean,
long,
I
but
think we've got time.
okay.
Go for it. We
I'm
got
gonna read
time.
it. I'm gonna read it because it's kind of hard for me without breaking down. So just bear with me, okay? Um, the story about to be told is about an extraordinary, now 42 years young, who accepted all the obstacles life had to throw at him. Now I know you may be thinking that everyone has different obstacles that they just overcome throughout their lifetime. So how is he different from you and I? Well, what makes this man particularly different from you and I is the tactic he used when faced with these obstacles. What makes him different from you and I is that he took these obstacles and used them to help make a difference and inspire others to never let life get in the way of their greatness and achievements. What makes us different from everyone else is not the obstacles life throws at us, but what we do when we're faced with these obstacles. Will you choose to accept defeat, or will you choose to persevere? May 13th, 1975, a child was born at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. This child was born 3 months early, weighing a pound and a half, and because of this, he was a premature baby. During the 80s, he was diagnosed with Tourette's syndrome, which was a type of tic or twitch, involuntary repetitive movements and vocalizations type of disorder. Not something that's curable, it always sticks with you. And one day at camp, the counselor had to take this young boy to a payphone, tears streaming down his face in pain, to call his mother because his neck was constantly snapping to one side over and over and over again. He went to various doctors who performed countless medical examinations to try and find a cure for his disorder. Every doctor said the same thing: he's fine, he'll grow out of it. One day in fifth grade, he stood up in front of his entire class and shared with them what Tourette syndrome was and what living with Tourette's was like. A huge weight was lifted off his shoulders once he shared his story with his classmates, and it generated many supporters, whether they be friends, parents, or teachers. Finally, a specialist at UCLA told him that he would never be able to get rid of this disorder alone and suggested that he take a special kind of drug called clonidine, which was set to help with witches. Unfortunately, this drug, with that came horrible side effects. He made a conscious decision not to take the pills after a couple years and tried to master his condition through focus and determination. After a while, it started to subside and diminish, and eventually they started to pretty much go away. No one knows what life has in store for them. All we can do is live until we're forced to face an obstacle which we must make a choice to either overcome or accept defeat. The Rotary four-way test demonstrates how one person can make a difference in the lives of others. With the experience this boy had to face came a life lesson. With determination, perseverance, and support from others, anything can happen. Now at 42 years young, this man chooses to use his story. God, I can't get through this every time at this part. To make a difference in others' lives by inspiring people in times of uncertainty. He implements the Rotary's motto, service before self, by finding the light in those who cannot find it in themselves, supporting them through their tough obstacles. He helps lift people's spirits and hopes in times of hopelessness and despair. He helps people turn their ideas and dreams into realities. He helps build people from the ground up in hopes that they too will one day share their stories with others. He makes a difference in this world each and every day, which inspires others to make a difference as well. Who, may you ask, is this man? Well, he is my father. Out of all the lives he's made a difference in, I believe he's made the biggest difference in mine. He inspires me never to give up on what I believe in, to always do what makes me happy, but most importantly, to always live every day as if it were the last, because we are never guaranteed a tomorrow. As Gandhi once said, be the change you wish to see in the world. Making a difference in the lives of others is my dad's change. What will be yours?
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
I had to share that with you because, and I know I had shared some of my story before, but I mean, this is her words. I had no idea she was doing this, and I had no idea that she felt this way. And it's such an incredible thing just to know that your story and your voice has the ability to affect and positively impact others. And that's what I want everyone who's watching and listening to know, is that take the leap, share your stories, share your voices, because we all can relate to that, whether we've been through what you have or not. We can feel that, and it can really affect us in such an incredible way.
Daddy?
Yeah. Well, and to add to that, you know, we always prompt people to do the videos, and you can't do your 50th until you do your first. So I'm very excited to actually see what your daughter ends up doing based on what she wrote about you. And to everyone else, you know, that gets inspired by that, I always say, you know, imagine you're talking to that one person. Imagine you're talking to your child or talking to someone. Just that one person is on the other side of the camera, and tell that story and know that, you know, you could be impacting them. And what a lot of people don't realize is you could be saving a life, because maybe they don't know what to do with those issues. And they can connect with someone like you and hear that story and know they're not alone. That's amazing.
Yeah, it truly is. It truly is. And again, it's not something that's easy to do, to put the camera in front of you, just stare at yourself. And there's all sorts of great things that you can do. Put a picture of somebody that you love or that makes you feel comfortable right where the dot is. Because the dot on your phone, by the way, that's where you connect with your audience, you know. Or flip your phone around so you're not yourself. Um, 60 seconds or less is a great place to be, especially when you're getting started, because everyone's got 60 seconds. Believe it or not, not everybody has a couple minutes. We're all busy. We all got stuff going on. But if you just show up and just start, and then just keep starting and keep sharing and just be you, be genuine, authentic, and you just start and show up. And I am telling you, I am proof in the pudding, like incredible things will happen. You will meet the most amazing people. You will build the most incredible relationships. And yes, for all of you listening, in terms of LinkedIn, you know, it is a place to truly build a family you never thought you would have. I found a family on LinkedIn that I never knew existed when I got on video. Like, flying all over the world to meet people that I've known for a year. It's like hugs immediately. You hear the word LinkedIn fam, which you'll see all over LinkedIn. And I always say this, Sonny and Tanan and I joke, he's another creator. He and his son Owen have been making videos on LinkedIn for a couple of years too. And it's awesome to see him grow up with Sonny on video. But we joke because one of us created the hashtag LinkedIn fam and we can't figure out who did. And I think the thing we realized was it doesn't matter. Like, it's what it means. Like, it truly means family to us because we all are supporting and loving and encouraging one another in every facet. And there's so much collaboration that's happened together. I think the thing is just to remember when you get together, I mean, you two are proof. When you get together, incredible things happen, right? It's amazing.
Yeah, we have a big collaboration coming up, strictly from LinkedIn. With Lila Smith is going to be coming out from Dallas. We're going to Charlotte, and we've got Kristen Sherry and Lori Knutson and all kind of people that we're going to see that we haven't met in person. So I'm super excited about that. And our motto really is collaboration over competition, anyway. And I love that Quentin
right.
just actually put out a challenge about that. So we have a few little surprises that'll be coming out around that challenge too.
Yeah, you know,
I love every
like you said,
No, go.
go ahead. No, you know what she was saying, that definitely video is so wonderful because of all the collaboration. You don't have to be, you could be miles and worlds apart and be able to connect two people together, both not only just hearing each other's journeys, hearing their heartbeats, hearing their stories and their passions and their whys, but going beyond that and being able to share two pieces of video from two different people across the world in one collection, and you're bringing people together. The power of video is so wonderful to see and experience. And yes, like you said, it can be challenging, but if we think about that, it's not the masses who are seeing it. Like you said, if you just connect with one person, with one other heartbeat, and you just said something that they felt and they heard, that's an amazing gift that you've given and you've received because you hear their acknowledgement. And it's amazing transaction, emotional transaction of heartbeats that are happening through video.
Yeah, it truly is. And talking about collaboration, and I was just going to say, like, every human being you mentioned, I love each and every one of them. Quentin calls me his LinkedIn dad. Like, I love him so much. He is the biggest heart. He's such an incredible human being. And Lila is the one who threw me my launch party in Dallas. And, collaboration is just so important. It's so important. I was one of the first to actually do collaborations in terms of video on LinkedIn back in the day. And the very first one was actually a New Year's video. And it was 24 hours before. And I'm like, it'd be so cool if I could just get a bunch of creators, and this was really early days, a bunch of creators together just say, Happy New Year. Like, how cool would it be to see a video and have all these people wishing you a Happy New Year? And so I just reached out to a bunch of creators at that time, probably about 25, and we didn't know each other. We knew each other from showing up in video, but we didn't know it. And all these creators sent me their videos, and I had to learn how to edit because I didn't know how to do any of that. But from something like that, and this was all over the world, you guys. International Dance Day, Chris Mack and I have done 2 years of International Dance Day where we literally get people dancing on video all over the world. And then I have put together and produced this video. We pick a song. Chris Mack has picked a song each year. They were awesome. And, Red Nose Day. Again, these are just great ways to come together and collaborate. And I love bringing people together, and it's always been an awesome way to make not only everyone else that's involved feel good, by coming together and collaborating, but so many other people to bring joy to so many other people's faces. And you're probably sitting here, those that kind of aren't familiar with LinkedIn, and going, you're dancing on LinkedIn? Yes, this is the new LinkedIn, people. It is all about human first, right? When you work at a company, yeah, whoop, whoop. When you work at a company, you get together and you do things with your fellow colleagues. Well, we are the most underpaid employees for a company we don't work for that's created our own culture that has the
True.
most ever. And that, I mean, people have come together to start businesses, to do videos together, to do partnerships, and it's all in meeting digitally. And when, again, you meet those people in person for the first time, it's like hugs everywhere. It's the most incredible thing. It's like meeting your best friend in person for the first time.
Love it, love it. So Daniel Nunez is on, and I can't go through all of it, but he was like, "I'm not crying, you're crying." So that was his response when you were reading the letter. But he did have a question. He said, who are the top 5? I mean, in your opinion, who are the top 5 people to connect with on LinkedIn?
Gosh, what a loaded question. So here's the thing. Here's what I would say. If you're trying to figure out who to connect with, like where to start, you mentioned What's Good Wednesday and Shout Out Saturday. The reason that I do those every single week, and by the way, Shout Out Saturday, hang on here. I'm going to plug in my headset because my AirPods are about to die. Bear with me here. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
But
So Shout Out Saturday literally happened because I started taking it from online to offline and just reaching out to people to connect on video chats or phone calls. And I started meeting so many amazing people during the week. I'm like, these are awesome human beings. I'd love to just like give them some love, give them a shout out or something. And I had this image in my camera because I post a lot of quotes on LinkedIn to help lift people up. And it said Shout Out Saturday on it. And I had it for months. And I'm like, well, Saturday, Shout Out Saturday, why don't I just do a video called Shout Out Saturday? And so I shouted out people that I met during the week because I wanted them to know I just thought they were awesome and I appreciated them. Well, over the course of 35 weeks, I did over 500 video chats with people. And
Wow.
I felt so good just after talking to all these amazing, incredible human beings. And so Shout Out Saturday became an every Saturday thing. What's Good Wednesday is all about sharing the good in your life because no matter how crazy things are, there's always something to be grateful for and thankful for and something good happening in your life. You woke up this morning. You were able to blink. You went for a run. You helped somebody do something. Whatever it is. So I guess I'm saying this because every single week people show up for Shout Out Saturday to give gratitude to other people they talk to during the week. So my thing is if you want to know who are the top people to kind of connect with, show up for these kind of things that people are doing where it's all about giving gratitude. Show up for Shout Out Saturday. You will meet so many amazing people in the comments. You'll see a lot of consistent creators showing up. Those are great people to connect with. But I will tell you something. Richard Moore, Sir Richard Moore in the UK, he is an incredible
Yes.
creator. And when he showed up for the first time, he was on YouTube, but he hadn't been on LinkedIn. He didn't really know where to start. He did a video about this. And I'm honored and humbled because he mentioned me in it. I was one of the first that he actually got in a video chat with. And he was trying to figure out how to kind of get started. Similar thing, like, how do I meet people and start showing up or whatever? And he realized there were some things that I was doing consistently in terms of videos. And so he started showing up and he started connecting with people and meeting people and getting on chats with people. And his consistency in creating and showing up and engaging, okay, is what allowed him to meet so many people. So forget the who are. Focus on the show up, engage, meet people, support others, create. Consistency is the most important thing. Engaging in consistency is the most important thing. And when I say engage, I'm saying like if Brandy shows up on a video or a post, comment on there. Hey, thanks so much for sharing that. It meant so much to me. I really needed that uplift, or, hey, I loved your video talking about these tips, or whatever it may be, right? Fire Day, I love Fire Day. That was so awesome. Can't wait to see you on LinkedIn Live, or whatever. I'm plugging you because you guys need to be on LinkedIn Live.
Yes, we
So,
do.
it's just, it's, I think that's the most important thing is if you show up and engage, that's how you're going to meet people. And then take it offline, show up and have conversations with people offline, get on video chat, whether it's a FaceTime or a Zoom, or there's lots of great technology you can use to do it. But that's my recommendation is definitely just start showing up. You will see people in your feeds that are creating videos. Say hi. There's certain people you're going to just kind of be drawn to. And look, we're all human beings. I mean, it's like just show up. Just show up, say hi, and reach out, right? The old reach out and touch someone.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's, we taught a content creation course recently, and that's one of the things we said that, that is content if you really think about it. If you go and someone inspires you and you comment, then I would go immediately. I do this a lot. That's why I like my hashtag, because I can search my hashtag and go back and find my comments and create content around that, because obviously that's a discussion that people on LinkedIn want to have.
That's right. No, very good point. And hashtags are great for a couple reasons, right? One is searchability. So, for example, mine is Voice Your Vibe. So if you did a hashtag search for Voice Your Vibe, you would see anything I was posting, or if anyone else had used it. It's also a branding thing, right? You want people to associate you with whatever that hashtag is. How does that, remember, people don't remember what you say, they remember how you make them feel. And that hashtag is an association to that, right? I want people to feel like they have a voice and they have this vibe, and they should voice their vibe. And then if they do, they will attract their tribe just by showing up, being genuine and authentic, and them. And so, yeah, so think of a hashtag that works for you, something that inspires you, something that you go, yeah, that's me. And roll with that and use that in your posting, in your videos, in your comments. Because again, to your point, right, you'll be able to show up when people are searching for that, but also it starts to get ingrained in people's minds, and they go, yeah, oh yeah, that's Voice Your Vibe, that's Brian. Oh, Fire Day, yeah, that's Brandy. And oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was just going to add really quickly. Tim Denning had actually posted today about, do you use your name as a hashtag as an influencer, which I've never done, because to me, I think your hashtag should have a message, or it's kind of your brand. So like yours is Voice Your Vibe, and it comes through clearly, and ours is Own Your Fire. We have a couple, but that was one of the things people don't understand, the hashtag. So I love that you said it's great for searchability. So that they understand as they do grow, you can go back and find those things, and the engagement part, because you want to go back and actually make sure you're engaging. Sometimes people won't comment until a post is 2, 3, 4 days old, sometimes a week old. So I go back and make sure that I try to make sure I comment on every single comment back.
Yeah, you make a really good point, Brandy. So for those of you, when you start creating, like, or even if you just start engaging, right? If you make a post, rule of thumb, if someone's going to take the time out of their day to comment on something you've posted, take the time to do the same back. Even if it's just an emoji, great, send an emoji back, right? Or if someone tags you in something, a post they have or someone else's video, and they tag you and they give you kudos or some really nice comment that you're included in, take the time to reply. Now, I will tell you, I'm definitely at fault for missing so many of these because my newsfeed is just ridiculously flooded, and I miss so much. Sometimes it just doesn't pop up. So I always ask people to send me the actual link so that way I can get to it right away, so that I don't miss it. But remember, I think, be someone who gives to give. This is another thing about LinkedIn specifically, right? Don't just show up and start selling. Don't just show up and start asking for something. Be someone who is about other people. Shine a light on others. Build community. Give to give, not to get anything in return. Just be there to help. And when you do that, and you are giving value, which is what you do when you show up and be you, because a lot of times people will go, well, what kind of value am I sharing by just showing up and dancing in a video, or by sharing some quote, or whatever. I mean, again, if you're thinking it's not business, right? I will tell you this. Miguel Forbes, the chairman and and founder of Forbes. He jumped on LinkedIn. I can't remember how long ago it was. And Goldie actually had one of the original creators. She has green hair. You'd not miss her. She's just incredible. And she had sparked a bunch of us pioneer creators in the beginning, getting together and sharing one video tip. And she put this great collab together, and it was for Miguel. And so when he showed up, as you can imagine, he got bombarded by people going, I want to be in the 30 under 30, 40 under 40, et cetera, et cetera. And he got flooded with so many people that LinkedIn didn't know if it was actually him. He got verified on Instagram right away. LinkedIn didn't verify him right away. And he was sitting there going, why is my account frozen? I don't understand. Like, I am who I say I am. So he left. Well, then he came back and he created a post and he said, I left because of 30 under 30, 40 under 40, all these people reaching out, and just said, I've come back because of these people that are creators that make this platform what it is. And I was one of the people that he named. And the only reason I'm sharing this is because it blew my mind, you guys, because I was showing up on video, bringing people together, dancing, doing collaborations, whatever. It was never about business for me, because that's what I do when I'm on boards and I'm advising and I'm coaching and I'm speaking and whatever it is around the world. I didn't want to do that on video. I was already really uncomfortable, so I needed to do something different. And the fact that he looked at me as a creator that made this place what it was because of my videos, it meant so much to me, knowing that because I was just showing up and being me, that had an impact on him. So when I tell you that if you just show up and be you, that you just voice your vibe, come from your heart, you will attract your tribe. You can talk about anything you want. Your tribe is there, 640 million people. Voice your vibe, you'll attract your tribe. You just got to show up and then keep showing up. Be consistent.
Love it.
Well, we are out at that time, at that hour, and I want to make sure, Brian, before you go, that you're able to let people know on the social media platforms where they can find and connect with you, because we really do want them to connect really with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm on LinkedIn. A lot of people go, do you have a business card? And I say, LinkedIn is my business card. You can connect with me. So yes, I'm on LinkedIn, linkedin.com/in/Brian Schulman. You can see how it's spelled on the screen there. You can also search for the hashtag VoiceYourVibe. You can email me at brian@voiceyourvibe.com. And if you're interested in having me come in and work with your teams, or individually from a coaching perspective, you can reach me on Calendly, I forget how to spell it, Calendly, there's no E, calendly.com/voiceyourvibe, where I have a link for a free mastery coaching consultation to be able to talk, again, if it's something that's of interest. I only allot a certain number of hours per week because I have so much going on. But coaching is something that I love. It's in my heart. I love working one-on-one with folks. It is something I will always do. But those are the ways to reach me. And then, of course, you'll see me on the platform engaging. And I can't wait to see you all there. But most importantly, get on LinkedIn.
Yes.
So really quickly, Shay Rowbottom is online, and she says, Brian, my man. So she's giving you a shout out.
Shay
we do too. We love her. We had her last Friday. If you guys do not know who
Shay Rowbottom is, you have to check her out on LinkedIn. She is hilarious. She brings so much fire. She is unique and creative. You've got to see her videos. I mean, she does these incredible parody videos that are just awesome. And she's just an amazing human being that inspires so many people. So, Shay, I love you. You're incredible. Keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, you're amazing.
Do we want to ask him a couple quick questions, or should we sign off? So really quickly, we're going to do just a couple fire questions. I'm going to let you go right after me so I can ask him the first one. So you can come think about it. These are just fire questions from us. So really quickly, it's just a behind the scenes of what you like. So I'm going to give you 3 options. You pick your favorite. Coffee, beer, or wine?
Wine.
Ooh, there we are. We love wine. We're right there. Your turn.
I have a question since you're in San Diego. I always ask people, beach or the mountains?
Yeah, well, we kind of live in the mountains, but I love the beach. I do. I love the beach.
All right, so also a San Diego question. SeaWorld or Mickey Mouse?
Oh, I'm a diehard Disney guy. Like I said, I just came back from
Yay.
Orlando Disney at a super conference where I was emceeing the event, but also speaking on 5 tips to voicing your vibe on LinkedIn. And the very beginning of my presentation, I had like 5 slides of my family pictures from Disney, from my daughter competing at national championships at Disney World, to my son marching in the Disneyland parade because he's a jazz musician in their band marching. So yeah, Disney all the way. I mean, I love SeaWorld, but Disney all the way.
Any last ones?
Nope, that's it.
That's it. So we're going to sign off. Thank you so much. Again, we have had the honor and pleasure of talking with Brian Schulman from LinkedIn. If you haven't met him, you are missing out, but it's not too late. You can connect with him today. Today you can connect with him. So please go on to LinkedIn and connect. Please start your videos. It just takes one step.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Brian, for joining us live. And you are?
Brandy Holloway.
And I'm Vanessa Lane, and we're going to collaborate, and we're going to leave it with someone that commented, and I love this comment. So we're going to leave it with a comment, and we're going to do a collaboration with Janelle Bailey Keene. She said, "You're right, Brian. Just take the first step." And in quotes, "You don't have to see the whole staircase, just the first step, Martin Luther King."
Yes,
So we're signing
I love
off.
that
Thank
quote.
you, Brian.
I use that quote. That's awesome.
Signing off. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week, everybody, for another Fire Day. Bye.